Hey y'all. So I found these descriptions. I cannot talk. Descriptions of narcissists. I've read it online and I wanted to share it with you because it's perfect. Okay, so these are just some things that we've talked about before. Narcissists are trapped in the mind of a 2-year-old and they possess no cognitive ability to reason, negotiate, cooperate, to give and take, to love, to empathize. Rather, their lives consist of ultimatums, demands, greed, egocentric thinking, bullying, temper tantrums, silent treatment, and a plethora of I wants and give me's, which is exactly how a child is. Narcissists have what's called arrested development. Okay. Researchers, experts do believe that they stop developing at the age of when the abuse started. Okay. So they may be 30 or 40 or more, or even 20 for that matter, 20, 30, 40 and up, but they have the mindset of a child. Adults don't normally throw temper tantrums, stomp their foot, throw themselves on the floor, that kind of thing. Don't get me wrong, adults get angry. And if you keep pushing them, they're going to lose their shit. But so far as, and acting like a little child and throwing themselves on the floor and stomping their foot and throwing things, that's not a normal thing. Okay. Children do that. Okay. Where's my next one? You just going to give me a hard time or what? Okay. Bear with me, y'all. This thing is acting stupid. All right. I talked about this on the video I just did. Okay. Narcissists steal the family inheritance. Did I or did I not tell you that, right? They want you to die. I need your vehicles. I need your house. I need your boat. I need your whatever you have, even if it's a lawnmower, a fancy lawnmower. I want whatever I could get from you that's going to benefit me. I told y'all that. They're very, very, very harsh that way. All right. Okay. So, like I said, I found these online and they're such good descriptors that I thought I'm going to have to share these with you. A scheming family member takes control of the family estate through the psychological manipulation of the parent, acquires executorship, and as a consequence, their siblings are left with nothing but emotional pain, deep resentments, and a bitter taste of betrayal. I'm not talking just to hear myself talk on here. I'm trying to get through to y'all. They are your worst nightmare. You'd rather deal with Freddy Krueger, if he was real, or Jason from Friday the 13th than take your chance with one of these bastards. Or bitches, because women can do it too. All right? I'm going to read it again because I really want this to sink into your head. A scheming family member takes control of the family estate through the psychological manipulation of the parent, acquires executorship, and as a consequence, their siblings are left with nothing but emotional pain, deep resentments, and a bitter taste of betrayal. Your tears sustain them, gives them strength. Your anxiety, your anger, your frustration, it helps them breathe. They need that to survive. Here are red flags. It says relationship red flags, but that doesn't necessarily mean romantic relationships. It could also mean friendships, and it could also mean family members, because your family members are a relationship too. Relationship only means I relate with you and you relate with me. We are in a relationship. We are a teamship, or supposedly a teamship. However, if that person has significant issue, these are some of the symptomologies of people you need to get the hell away from. Okay? Lack of empathy, we talk about that all the time. Grandiose, entitled, manipulative, angry/rageful, paranoid, jealous, controlling, lack of guilt, lack of insight, lying, withholding, projecting, emotionally cold, odd boundaries, hypersensitive, needs constant admiration, showcases. They are parading around like a proud peacock. Look what I got. Look what I got going on. Even though mommy and daddy paid for it, but besides the point. Greedy, gaslighting, doesn't take responsibility, vain, cheap, unpredictable, takes advantage of others, revels in others' misery. Didn't I just tell y'all that? Your tears sustain them. Seductive. So, okay, so here's the grand finale. Are y'all ready? So we're going to talk about, and I know y'all are going to really enjoy comparing them because there are similarities, but they're not the same. They're not identical in how they do things, but they're similar, okay? So we're going to talk about narcissists, psychopaths, and sociopaths. All right? So let's do narcissists first. Not every, in fact, let's go across the board with each one. So that's what we'll do. All right? So let's do this. So narcissist, not every narcissist is a psychopath. Every psychopath is narcissistic. Sociopaths can also be narcissistic. When a narcissist does something abusive, they are concerned about their social image and try everything to keep their real self hidden. Psychopaths don't feel any guilt or shame, regardless of what they do or what crime they commit. So they're not going to prance around and necessarily try to perpetrate something that they're not. They don't feel any guilt or shame regardless of what they do. So if they do something horrible, oh well. Killed a bunch of people, yeah, and sociopaths, bear with me, having some pain in my back, which is not really fun. It feels like nerve pain, which is very bad. Sociopaths are also careless. They do things undercover to avoid unnecessary attention. Okay? People become narcissistic because of the environment in which they grow with some genetic influence. So experts have discovered that there can be a genetic component with narcissism. But they generally become narcissistic also because of their environment. Psychopaths are born the way they are. Okay? Psychopaths are born the way they are. People aren't born sociopaths. They too are shaped by the environment and their childhood experiences. So of the three, narcissist, psychopath, and sociopath, psychopaths are the ones that are born that way. So for narcissists they can feel shame, jealousy, greed, regret, and guilt to some extent. They need excessive admiration and often have extreme or unrealistic fantasies of ideal power, money, success, etc. So I've heard stories about people who are involved with narcissists who are going to I'm going to be famous one day. I'm going to travel the world. I'm going to get my own business and I'm going to be better than anyone in the business. I'm going to be the best. I'm going to be at the top of the pyramid. And they have all these grandiose ideas, but they cannot actually bring them to fruition. 9 times out of 10, it stays a fantasy in their head. Psychopaths are born cold, callous, ruthless, fearless, egocentric, grandiose with superficial charm, manipulative, pathological liars with a lack of empathy, guilt, and remorse. So they're born that way. So the way a narcissist is cold-blooded and uncaring and ruthless, they become that, whereas a psychopath is born that way. Okay? Sociopath is a downgraded version of a psychopath. They may have a limited, albeit weak, capacity to empathize or to feel remorse. So I found that fascinating and I found that interesting. Now, here is something incredibly wild. It's going to mess your mind up. There's a guy who works in the field of, I want to say, like some type of criminal investigative or forensic something along those lines. They did testing on him for kicks. They all did testing to see where their brain scores so far as being, having issues. And he's a good man. He works really hard. And he, like I said, I think he works in the field of forensics. I'm not really sure, but something along those lines. They did testing on his brain just for why not. He has the brain of a psychopath. Anything that's abnormal with the brain can be seen on scans. Okay, we talked about this before. He has the brain pattern of a psychopath, and he's never done anything regarding that to harm anyone. So I found that interesting. He could easily be a crazy person, and he's not. He's a hardworking, career-oriented person, okay? So I found that really wild. Really, really, really wild. I mean, even with computer scans, the computers can show different computerized different color patterns in brains that are normal as opposed to brains that are not. So people who have these types of issues can deny it all day and twice on Sunday. But the proof speaks for itself. And as I told you guys before, I did a video on talking about why narcissists act the way they do. They have brain damage. These people have brain damage, and that can be seen on CAT scans, MRI scans, as well as tensor, I forget what it's called, something tensor imaging. And basically they hook that person up, hook their brain up, and they can see which part of the brain is not communicating with other parts of the brain properly. So they can actually see where the brain is not functioning correctly and the brain damage. So people can lie, people with these, because they lie anyway. I mean, they lie as soon as they open their mouth, they start lying. They just can't help it. They have brain damage. They cannot be taught better unless they want to be taught better. Because like I told you before, Lee Hammock, mental healness, heal with an L, healness, mental healness. He is a clinically diagnosed narcissist. And there's still times that he's, irrational because he's got brain damage. Now, is he better than he ever was? Yes, because he's been in psychotherapy for 6 years. He will never be completely cured. He will always revert back to abnormal behaviors and complete illogic at times. For example, narcissists consider you competition, which is ridiculous. If you're supposed to be, but you can't expect it to make sense because they have brain damage. Hello. But they consider you competition, you know, which makes no sense. Nobody gets into a relationship because they want to compete with someone. Well, a narcissist does because they are illogical. Lee said at one point, if you ask your partner, your narcissistic partner, for, can you give me some kind of reassurance that we've got a solid relationship, they could get pissed off at that. Why do I need to assure you? Don't you think I do enough for you? That's not a normal reaction, but they can't be normal because their brain isn't normal, you know. And they will argue with you all day and twice on Sunday. Oh, research says this, research says that, the researchers have no idea what they're talking about. Right. I'm sure they don't. They have zero clue. That's why they do this as a career and get paid a lot of money to do it, because they have no idea what they're talking about. You're going to get illogical responses when you're talking to someone who has these significant issues. They're going to deny, and project, because that is what they do to try to escape the darkness that is them. So anyway, I thought these were great descriptions, and I just finished talking to you guys about how they will jack you up when it comes to the will and trying to manipulate ill and dying parents or family members that they can benefit from. I know of someone, I'm not going to say who this person is, but I know someone whose brother is severely narcissistic and severely out of line, and has done so in front of the whole family when their mom died. He was taking advantage of everything and lying and tricking and manipulating. And he did it in front of family members. Like, you have absolutely no class. You can't even, wow. Just disgusting. Just disgusting behavior. This same individual, when his ex-wife means I'm no longer married to you. You are no longer married to me. Why, when she was dying, he came to her house and was flying around like a buzzard waiting on her to die? Because he was stealing things out of her house. He could have been stealing medication. He could have been stealing money. He could have been stealing things that he's a thief. A lot of narcissists are thieves as well. Or they take advantage of people and this person is horrible. Absolutely horrible behavior. Just horrible behavior. And I literally have images of him flying around waiting for her to die, his ex-wife to die. And I'm like, well, why the hell did she let him in the house in the first place? We're not married. Why are you here? We're not even friends. Why are you here? He's here because he's going to take advantage of the fact that you're dying. And since you're dying, you're not going to need this fancy watch that I've been looking at, eyeballing for a long time. Even if they don't want it, they'll sell it. There's always something in it for this person. They're not coming around. If they're a sick person, a toxic person, they're not coming around because you're dying and they want to give you condolences. That is the pretense in which they're going to approach. But when you're sleeping, because when you're dying, you do a lot of sleeping, they're going to be scoping, walking around the house scoping. Absolutely disgusting behavior. So anyway, I just wanted to give you this information that I found. And it's just, wow, education is power. So you guys take care, drive safe, be safe. It's Memorial holiday weekend. I want you guys to be safe. I want you to be careful. I do not want you dead on a metal slab in a coroner's office. Okay, let's not do any of that. Be careful while you're driving. Don't drink and drive. Don't text and drive. Don't do it. I mean it. Y'all be safe. Mama loves you. Talk to you later.